Hi there, welcome to Jujube DIY. I'm Sarah. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm taking part in another Plaid collaboration and giveaway. I'm so excited to show you how to use a Plaid product that I love, and I'm also super excited to show you how to make these 3 super adorable Valentine's Day projects that are very quick and easy. So if you want to find out more about the giveaway, the product, and how I made these DIYs, stay tuned. For our first DIY, we're using one of these wood ornaments. I just gave it a coat of the apple barrel jet black paint, let that dry thoroughly, and then added a thick layer of this Crackle Medium from Folk Art right over the top. I let that dry for a couple hours on its own. You don't want to speed up this process. After that was dry, then you can add any acrylic paint over the top and it will create this beautiful crackle finish on whatever it is you're painting it on. So it's really super easy. All you want to do is add a layer of acrylic paint right over the top of your Crackle Medium, just like this. Be careful that you don't do too many strokes with your paintbrush, otherwise it might affect the crackle, but just paint it on nice and thick and then just let that dry on its own and you'll see that crackle finish start to come through. I picked up this board from the Dollar Tree and I gave it a coat of the Waverly chalk paint in white. Now I'm using a dry chip brush and the Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral to add some distressing to my board. Waverly is also a Plaid product along with Apple Barrel, so you'll see all of those paints being used along with my Crackle Medium today. Once I was happy with the distressing of my board, I'm just going to add my hearts in this order. I wanted it to have that ombre effect, and I'm just gluing them down with some hot glue. I'll leave all the colors that I use in my description box below so that if you want to use the same colors, you'll know which colors to get. I'm just adding a little twine bow here to each of the hearts to cover up those holes. This word love is a wood piece that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree, and I just gave it a coat of an apple barrel color. Next, I felt it needed to be distressed as well since everything else was looking pretty vintage on this piece. So I'm just taking a dry, stiff brush and some black paint, and I'm just adding in some little scuff marks to just age it up a little bit. Next, I wanted to add a hanger to my piece, so I decided to go ahead and paint some beads the same color as I used on the hearts. So I'm just adding those beads on to my twine. Now, if you're smart, you might use some tape or glue for the ends of your twine to help you thread your beads through and to help thread it through your project. But I chose not to do that because I thought I was going to be able to get it in there easy enough. I was fooling myself, let me tell you. So just take my advice and use a little bit of tape or some glue to help you get that twine through. But I'm just going to knot it right through to the front of my project, and I'll just pull that right down to the project itself. And as you can see, struggle bus central here. Oh, I should have used a longer piece of twine too. That would have been more helpful. So I'm just going to snip off the ends, and this is our finished piece. I love how this turned out, and I just adore that crackle finish. Moving right along to DIY number 2, I'm using this wood round from Plaid that I pick up at Walmart for about $1. I gave it a coat of the apple barrel paint, let it dry, added the Crackle Medium, let that dry, and now I'm adding a top coat. I just wanted to show you how this would look with a tone-on-tone crackle finish. So I'm just using a large brush here so that I can get the paint on in as few strokes as possible. And as you can see, that crackle is already starting to come through. It comes through pretty quickly, but it looks so beautiful with that dark pink and light pink color. Next, I want to add some twine around my wood piece here. So I'm being impatient and not letting my glue dry. So definitely let that glue dry before you pull it around the front. But I'm just gonna pull it around like 3 times. You can do this as many times as you want. And then I'll just secure it with a little bit of hot glue in the back there. Next, I wanted to add a little something extra. So I got into my stash and I found these flatback pearls that are self-adhesive from the Dollar Tree. I find them in the Crafter Square section in their sticker area. And I'm just going to add those all around the very outside edge of this wood round. Once I've completed the circle with the flatback pearls, I'm going to add some of this Dollar Tree nautical rope. This is the white cotton twine rope that they carry, and I can't tell you whether it's the thicker one or the smaller one. It comes in a couple different sizes, so just pick whichever size you like best. But I cut it at an angle, and now I'm just using a little bit of hot glue to secure those ends so they don't unravel as much as I'm working with it. So once I get that secured a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit more hot glue, and I'm going to start laying it around the very outside edge of my wood round here. And I'm just going to do it in small sections because as I go, I'm going to glue and twist that rope up a little bit. It tends to untwist very easily. So if you just kind of keep going in little sections and twisting as you go, you can get a nice tight twist on it. And I think that that looks better in my opinion. Next, I wanted to add some greenery. So I'm taking some of this eucalyptus that I got from Michael's and some of this lamb's ear from Walmart. And this beautiful rose that I got in a $5 grab bag from Michael's. And I'm just going to add it right to the top there where my nautical twine met together. So that just helps cover up where those two pieces of twine, or not twine, nautical rope meet. So I'm just going to layer it together. And I love how that eucalyptus from Michael's, I got that last spring, and I'm hoping that they carry it again this year because it's just really pretty. And the lamb's ear go together with that pink. Next, I'm taking these wood hearts from the Dollar Tree. These were new to me this year. They come in 2 different sizes and then 3 different colors in a little pack. And I'm just gonna add them to some clothespins, and then I'm gonna add them to my twine. And you could add little notes or pictures to your clothespins, and it would work perfectly. I think this turned out so much prettier than I originally anticipated. So as I mentioned before, today is the Plaid giveaway and collaboration hosted by Annie at Indiana Jones. I'm joining all of these talented ladies in showcasing plaid products for you today. To enter in for the giveaway, you'll need to go to each video in the playlist and listen for the keyword that crafter is using. They'll let you know. You'll just comment that in their comment section and you're entered in to win. You have until January 21st to get through all the videos, and you must be in the United States in order to win. I hope that you enjoy all the inspiration that you'll see through these videos, and good luck. For our third and final project of the day, I'm taking this mini wood pallet sign from the Dollar Tree, and I gave it a coat of the apple barrel paint, let it dry, and then gave it a coat of the Crackle Medium. And if you haven't guessed yet, Crackle Medium or Crackle is my keyword for the giveaway. So make sure you leave that down in my comment section and then go visit all of the other videos in the playlist and do their keywords too, so that you can be entered in to win some free plaid products. I'm just adding a layer of this apple barrel paint in white over the top of my Crackle. I find that acrylic paint works better than chalk paint. You can get a Crackle finish from chalk paint, but it is very subtle and not quite as crackly. So I think that the acrylic paint works better than a chalk paint, But I found after some trial and error that actually multi-surface paint crackles even better than acrylic. So definitely play around with the different types of paints you might have on hand and see what kind of a crackle finish you get with each one. After that was all dry, I wanted to add some of this beautiful tissue paper to the top of my project. So I added a layer of Mod Podge, put my tissue paper down, let that dry, and then added a top coat on top of everything of another layer of Mod Podge. So just kind of sealing everything in with that Mod Podge. Once that was all dry, I wanted to get rid of all the extra paper. So I'm just using the sanding technique, and I'm just using a nail file here, but you can use any kind of sandpaper you want. Just rub it along those edges and it just cuts that paper perfectly. Next, to get rid of the center sections, I'm just taking my box knife and running it along each side, grabbing that paper out, and then using my nail file to get rid of any extra paper. And as you can see, it just leaves a beautifully finished edge. So I was thinking to myself, this isn't done. I don't know what it needs, but it needs something else. So I was looking through my stash when I ran across this rub-on transfer from the Dollar Tree. I picked this up not too long ago, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to find them too if you want to recreate this project. But if you can't, there are lots and lots of different rub-on transfers out there on Amazon and Etsy. So just look around for a rub-on transfer that you might like. I just laid the rub-on transfer down and just started rubbing and just thought whatever gets transferred gets transferred. I wasn't worried about it looking, I kind of wanted to look vintage and old. That was kind of the idea behind these projects today with the crackle finish. So I'm just going to continue pressing down and pulling up as I go. And I'm just showing you here that there's plenty more to use on different projects. So there's some areas where the transfer was going from one slat to the other. So I'm just cleaning that up and making sure that there isn't any transfer in between those slatted pieces. And I'll just press those down with my fingers to make sure that it's all down super well. And look at how pretty this turned out. You can still see that crackle finish through the tissue paper. And because that transfer is transparent, it all shows through perfectly, and I think it works together so nicely. So to finish this off, I am going to add one of these laser cut hearts from the Dollar Tree right here in this bottom corner, and I called it complete. So you'll have to let me know if you would have added anything more to this project or if you would have left it just as is. I do really love how this one turned out. I think it turned out way better than I ever expected, so that's always a good thing when that happens. So let me know in the comments down below which project was your favorite from today. Don't forget to add Crackle or Crackle Medium in your comments as well so that you can be entered in for the giveaway. And then make sure you go check out all of the videos in the playlist. I hope you have a happy, healthy, and blessed day.